Alright, hello. I'm going to take you through a little tutorial here of how to make a mission in the Eden editor and put it onto a server. It's a basic mission. I've got currently modded right now, different types of mods, map mods, things like that. But we're just going to do Altus for now. Alright, load that one up. There's different strategies, different ways of doing this. This is just one way. There's multiple videos and stuff out there that you can watch. This is just how I usually do it for our server and our unit. So you can take that as however you like. We'll just let this puppy load up here at this crappy old computer. Come on. You can do it. Let's go. Come on. Any year now. Yeah, different mods do different things. So I'm going to try to keep this as vanilla as possible. So you can see we got Altus here. Alright. Usually when I start a map and I start putting units and stuff down, I like to find an empty map pretty well where the players won't really go to. Whether that's an island or whatever. We got an island right here. We'll start, put our modules and things on there. Alright. Nice little island we can work with. Okay, it's going to be out of the way, won't interfere with anybody. First off, the top here, right, you've got different markers, things like that, right? First one is individual objects, right? So for instance, we go into NATO, we go into men, right? I place down one guy, right? One NATO soldier, okay? Compositions, you press F2. What do we got here? Place down a full fire team, okay? So compositions is just groups, things like that. Triggers, those are a bit more complicated, won't get into that. Then you got your waypoints, things like that. Those are, again, quite complicated, do different things. Your systems, we'll be using a few of these later on. But yeah, let's get to it. So we're going to start off first. What you need to do is place a unit down, okay? Keep in mind that any unit you place, for instance, you can kind of see, if we go in pretty close, there's a little, it's got like a little arrow in it, represents an auto rifleman, right? You've got the combat lifesaver, the medic, okay? Depending on if you're using a Blue 4 tracker or other mod that displays this, if you want that displayed properly for IFF reasons, pick the proper unit, alright? For this instance, we're going to just pick a regular fire team here, drop it down. Okay, we've got a team leader, auto rifleman, AT, and a grenadier. Okay, we are missing a medic, so we will grab a medic and stick him in there. Perfect. These lines here represent groups, so that this unit here is grouped up to him. So this is the team leader. All these guys are part of his element. Okay, so let's get right into it. You'll see this red little circle around this unit here represents that this is you, the player, when you start. So I can go down here and play scenario in single player, and it would immediately play, and I would spawn in with this character. Alright, but for a multiplayer mission putting onto a server, we don't want that. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to double click. Double click them and it'll pull up this screen here. Alright, we don't need the init stuff. That can be later. We don't need transformation. We do need, however, the control. You see here, player, uncheck that, click playable. Role description. This is what the role will display on the lobby screen in the multiplayer version, okay? So for instance, we wanted to be team leader, okay? This is what you'll see in the lobby. You know, click him and okay, he's the team leader. Now another thing a lot of people don't know of is if you want to change the call sign of this entire fire team on the team leader, you put @ space and the name of the call sign. So we'll just have this as Alpha Team. Okay. This stuff here, you can change the skills, the health. He starts off with the rank. Rank is important if, for instance, you link up AI or have a script where the AI automatically join a player. The AI automatically get attached to the highest ranking officer within that group. And the highest ranking officer will then be able to control those AI. So it comes in handy if you're attaching AI to players, right? We'll just put him captain for now. Don't have to, but everything else you can leave as default. I am using a mod called Ace, and that will override all of this stuff. So we'll get rid of that. We do, however, want Ace options right here. Because I'm using Ace interaction, performance factor represents the fatigue, right? And in order for the Ace settings to take effect, we need to drop this down to 0. Okay. On the server settings, I have it set to 5. This only goes as high as 2. So if you're using Ace, drop this down to 0. I like to make my team leaders medics, so we'll have him clicked as a medic. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Now, as soon as I put playable, you'll see it has now a purple ring around him. We're going to do that with all of them now. Double click on this guy here. We're going to go playable. Drop his performance factor down to 0. And go from there. Nice little trick though is we can just highlight everyone, right click, go attributes. And we want right here. Object control. You'll see a right box here. We open that up. Playable on all. Okay. We don't want to change the role description for everyone. We just want to make them all playable. Okay. We'll scroll down, and again, we'll do the same thing. Performance factor. Enable to set the attribute for all the selected entities. Okay. Left click it. 0. Okay. Boom. All of them are done. Nice and handy to get them all done. Now if we want to go through, this is a medic here, so we need to make sure he's identified as a medic in Ace. So we will go set him up there as a medic. Role description, we can just put medic here, and he's finished. You can name any of these guys whatever you want. Like literally this guy here, I can call him, let's say, just Duck. Okay, and he will be called Duck. I won't actually call him Duck, but you'll see at the bottom there, it'll say his call sign underneath his class name, right? So we'll just leave that blank. If you leave it blank, it will go by the default. At the top there is the default unit name is Grenadier, all right? So that is how to place one team. The server we're using has quite a few slots, so what we're going to do is we're just going to copy that and paste it. And boom, guess what? We've got 2 units. Easy peasy, alright? One thing to note is that this team here is Alpha, and we'll rename these guys Bravo. So I clicked on the team leader, went Bravo. Okay, so remember object control, role description, team leader at space, it has to be a space in there, Bravo. Okay, we'll go into our attributes now at the top. Okay, we'll go into general. You can make the title of your scenario name that appears in the scenario menu, the multiplayer lobby, that kind of thing. Don't really need it, it's not needed. If you got any pictures, things like that, you can add in. Require DLC, I'm going to put no, because it won't require. Here you can change the allegiance of the independent faction, so that's the green for. At the top you kind of half-ass see it's green. What their allegiance is, if you want them allies to blue 4, enemies of op 4, or vice versa. Allies to blue 4, enemies of op, but allies of op 4, enemies a blue 4. I usually like making them both enemies just for an extra options, right? You can easily change that in the Zeus interface. Unclick binarize the scenario file. You don't need that unless you're uploading that to the workshop. It just makes it harder to edit it in the past. I click editable objects to Zeus. What this does is every time something is placed, every time you place something down as a Zeus, it will automatically add that object or player or unit to the Zeus interface. So it checks it every 60 seconds and will periodically keep adding anything. You can easily go in and disable that as well as the Zeus. And that is it for general. Once that's all done, we'll click OK. Next, we'll go into multiplayer. Multiplayer is a big one. Game type, not really important. It's going to be a Zeus match, but if you wish to define it, if you have a lot of different missions and stuff on one map and you're organizing it by game types, then, you know, be handy. Most of ours are Zeus. You can set the minimum number of players to be on here, and maximum we'll just put 25 for now. The summary of the mission, if you have a campaign, thing like that, you can put that in here. This is a big one too. Make sure you uncheck Enable AI. Okay, this will allow players to join all those slots. If you don't click that, what it will do is if you join a slot, all those AI that we place down will automatically become active on the server. They'll run around and stuff, and you'll lose those slots. So make sure you disable this here. All right. Next, we're going to go to respawn. Again, very important. You can change this. You can use scripts, things like that. This is just going to be a basic setup here. So you want respawn on custom position. Okay. Select respawn position right here. You can show respawn counter if you want. I don't like to. It just adds an extra HUD on the screen, which you don't really need. Okay. You need to at least set the respawn delay to a minimum of 1 second. I said it's an average of 5. Seems to be a decent amount. This here, if you're just using vanilla, it's not going to show up. This is part of a mod. Okay. Save loadout. This will save if you go ahead and customize the loadouts for each individual unit. Using Ace Arsenal, you need to make sure that you hit save loadout. This will save their loadout. Otherwise, if you use vanilla Arsenal, you customize the loadouts and it will show up using the vanilla Arsenal instead. So if you don't click this, it will use their default loadouts or vanilla Arsenal loadouts that you make. If you click it, it will use the Ace Arsenal loadouts only. Alright, so keep that in mind. And that's it for what we're going to be doing in here. You don't need revive, that's for vanilla. Again, there's different aspects of using this, okay? So keep that in mind. Alright, so that's the majority of it. Now we're going to get the settings, the game options and stuff set up. So what you want to do is go into settings, add-on options. Okay, this is the ACE settings. All right, as you can see, there's a lot of them here. All your add-on option settings. Okay, we've got Achilles, we've got ASEX, AIM, ASR AI 3. You can customize the AI, how they behave in your map. Okay, within your game. For instance, if they want them to move to cover, right? Use advanced cover behavior, right? We'll have that checked. Max distance to consider objects as cover, so it's set to 50 meters. I'm not going to go too much in depth to it, but you can kind of look at this, customize it yourself. I have one already built, so we will upload that one. Actually, we will import one is what we'll do. What this does, if you go load settings from preset, if you had joined other servers, you'll see here, I have Mutant Gaming Operations Server, I have Softened Training Grounds, Standard Battle Server, things like that on different servers. You can load those options into your preset, okay? I'm going to import. Alright, so we're going to import from a mission file or already pre-made. So you can see here, it imported it from a file already, customized, and we're going to go OK. And it imported them all in. Perfect. So we'll just like to double check. I go to my medical aspect of it because that's the most easily definable one. Where is it? Right there. Ace Medical. Enable blood drops, yes. Player damage set to 2. Perfect. Max revive. And where was it? Prevent instant death. Perfect. So we know this is working. What we're going to do is we're going to save this. And we will save that as MG server side and click OK. And there we have it. Alright, so we've got the basic units down, but what we need to do now is add in a Zeus, okay? So you can add in a Zeus. What I'm going to do is look for, let's see, an officer. What do we got? A team leader. Sure, we'll put a team leader down. Okay. We're going to do the same thing as before. Playable. This time we're going to go Zeus, and we'll call him, we'll just go High Command. Ooh, I can't spell. High Command. Perfect. Again, performance factor, let's make him a doctor, advanced engineer. Now this is going to be important as well, okay? If you make unit handcuffed, what it will do is it will automatically make your unit, well, handcuffed. And what that does, you won't be handcuffed in-game, but what it does is it sets your, what do you call it? It sets your unit up so that if there's OPFOR around you, they won't engage you. Unless, of course, you gauge them. So this is a, what I call like a unit Zeus. This isn't a virtual Zeus. So you can walk around with your players. You can get shot and die as a Zeus, right? So how I like to think of it is there's two aspects of it. The virtual Zeus is like actual Zeus, and then the unit Zeus you can think of as like Hercules, a demigod, right? Still has the Zeus powers, just can be killed. Makes it more entertaining, in my opinion. Alright, so we will click OK, and that is set up. So we have our unit set. Okay, we have our Zeus player, but he's still not a Zeus yet. We've got a couple things that we have to add to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Systems, and at the bottom here we're going to go to Zeus, and you'll see Game Master. It's the 5th one down from Zeus, and we're going to plop that down here. Let it load in. Boom. Oh, we forgot one other thing. We need to set his variable name. Okay, this is important. So in AmmoboxInit, variable name, just call him Zeus. Alright. Click OK. Then we're going to go into our Game Master, and this is where the variable name came into effect. You see owner? We're going to put the owner as the variable name of Zeus. Alright. So that means that this module is now belonging to this player, because at the top there you'll see team leader in brackets Zeus. The Zeus is the variable name. You need the variable name to match the owner. Okay. Custom name displayed for other players. You can put whatever you want. We'll just put, oops, High Command. Alright. If you have mods, you need to go in default add-ons. You need to include unofficial ones, okay? All add-ons including unofficial ones. Alright, make sure that's set. If you want a forced interface, you can easily, so as soon as the player joins, they are stuck in Zeus. I don't like doing that because giving the player options to move around, do their own thing, gives the player more freedom. Alright. But that's up to you. If you want the forced interface, Zeus interface, just click that. Okay. There you go. now we have a Zeus. The other thing is in settings, game options. Okay, you want difficulty. Preset is usually set to custom, but you have recruit, which changes the skill, the precision of the AI, as well as all these situational awareness factors like your tactical ping, waypoints, commands, mines, right? This represents the difficulty. I usually go custom, and as you can see, I have the skill set to 70%, precision set to 50, AI level is set to normal, right? And then I have everything else on hide. Group indicators, everything's hide, hide, hide. Weapon info, I do show that because it's kind of nice to see what kind of weapon you got, how much ammo, that kind of thing. Right? There's no other way you can check it. Stance indicator, I have hidden. You can see all this stuff. Camera shake. If you go into camera mode, it would shake a little bit. But all this is there. Again, this is already set on the server. On our server side, you can set this up server side on your server instead of doing it pre-missions. But once this is done, just click OK, and that's finished. There's a couple other things we can go through. One of the other mods we have on our server is called the Ace Fortify. So, can't spell. There it is, right there. Ace X Fortify. So it's part of a mod. If you don't have it, you can skip this part. But basically you set the side to blue 4. You can set the preset to small, medium, or large. The difference being small is like little sandbags, little planks, things like that players can place down in emergency. Medium is being the H-barriers, H-barrier towers. You can set up a small FOB. And then large is the military base walls. And the cargo towers, the really big ones and stuff, the green, brown ones, the rusted ones, right? That's what that would set to. I just do small, and you can set the budget. Again, it's -1, which is infinite. If we go to, I'll set it to $200. Okay, it's a decent amount of price for a small. If you're going to do medium, I would probably set it up to maybe about 1,000. And then large, I would probably do maybe like 5,000, right? You can play with it a little bit, that kind of thing. But for now, we're going to set up to 200, small. Auto add Fortify item, I have disabled. So and when they join the server, it would automatically add it if you had enabled. Disabled means they actually have to pick one out of the arsenal. All right. And that's it. That's all you have to do for the Fortify tool. Okay. We like to add in a backdoor Zeus. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Game Master here, click on it, and hit Control-C, Control-V, and copy it. What we're going to do is we're going to add admin logged. So if you see here where it says you kind of hovering over owner, you can put the player UID, which is, for instance, if you have certain people only Zeusing, you can put their ID, in-game ID, into here, separated by, if you're doing multiple people, you separate it by a comma, then another ID, and only those people with that ID will be able to access the Zeus. Okay, we're going to do an admin logged. So whoever logs into admin would have access to Zeus. You can also do it admin voted, as it says there. So if somebody votes to be admin and they win, they could log in and become a Zeus as well that way. So we're going to just type in admin logged. Make sure I spelled that right. I did. And again, we'll just call them high command, unofficial, and we're perfect. Everything else is done. So now we have a regular Zeus, a backdoor Zeus, Fortify tool. We are missing one more thing, and that is a respawn. So you go in again, make sure you're in systems, okay, multiplayer, respawn position, Okay, you can place this anywhere you want. This is why I put this on an island back here. It's kind of out of the way, as you can see, but if the Zeus spawns in, he can easily change it up. Okay. And respawn. You can put the name, so we will just call this spawn. Infantry type, you can do vehicles, helicopters, planes. We're going to do infantry. The side, if you're doing a point system, it would be the leading side. You can do Op4, Blue4, Independent. If you're doing a Virtual Zeus, it's little note is make sure that you have a civilian respawn in case he dies. Because a Virtual Zeus is considered a civilian. Alright, just keep that in mind. So we're going to do a Blue4, since these are Blue4 units. So here it says set to will see the respawn marker. We only want the side, right? Notification, you can have that if it disabled, enabled, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Done. Now we have a respawn. For this one, what we're going to do is we're going to add in a arsenal. All right. This is completely up to you. It's going to be script based. I can put the script for them in the description below, so you'll be able to access those. I like to use ammo crates. In particular, the vehicle ammo NATO crate. It's big. Player base can't really use anything in it, right? It's only good for rearming vehicles and things like that. So we plop it down, okay? Nice little hill here, right near the respawn. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to double click on it, and hopefully this loads up sometime today. And it loaded. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I already had it copied, so we're going to put it in here in the init. So the first one calls in a ace arsenal. So this true call ace arsenal FNC init box, and then the next one will call a vanilla arsenal. So AmmoboxInit this true call BIS FNC arsenal, right? Again, I will put all this in the description below so you'll be able to see it. Alright, that's all you need to do. I like to go into special states and just disable damage on it. Set it as that, disable damage. That's all you gotta do. Put the code in the init and disable damage on it if you don't want the player base to accidentally send it off flying through space and destroy it. Alright, so click OK. And there we have it. We've got our arsenal, we've got 2 teams, right, and our Zeus. If you want to add in some pilots, let's add in some pilots here. Infantry, let's go sentries. Oh no, we need pilots, not sentries. Pilots, there's a fighter pilot, perfect. And what do we want? A helicopter pilot. We want 2 of them, right? So, there we go. So, our fighter pilot, again, we want playable, role description, we'll just call him jet pilot. Alright. Make sure, again, you go into ace options, okay, right here, object, ace options, performance 0. It's imperative that you do that. Depending on your settings, if you have the settings set up so that you can't change pylons, things like that. They can't rearm, refuel. They have to be an engineer. Make sure you set that up as well. I set my pilots up as engineers anyways. Alright, we'll do these 2 as well. Group them up. Right click, attributes, playable, and we'll just call these heli pilots for now. And again, scroll down, and ace options, performance 0. Make them both an engineer. Alright, we'll set this other guy up as a co-pilot instead. Oops. Co-pilot. Perfect. Alright, so we have 2 fire teams, a Zeus. Let's set up a squad lead as well. Alright. So what we're going to need is an officer. Here we go. An officer, and we're going to do a medic, because he's going to be the platoon or the squad doctor. Alright. He'll be able to assist with the medics in mass cas situations and things like that. Where is he? Combat lifesaver. There we go. Alright. So again, what we're going to do that all over. Player, we will call him, we'll just go team chief at, what do we want to call this? We'll just go, well, yeah, we'll call this Phoenix Squad. Perfect. Team chief at Phoenix Squad. I think I spelled that wrong, actually. Is it EO or OE? I fucking can't remember. OE, maybe? Yeah, let's go with OE. Sounds right. Go back to school one day. And we'll do the other one. Oops. We want playable, and we'll set him up as the doctor. Oh, we forgot something to do on the last guy. Again, performance factor. Doctor. Douche. Officer, performance factor, and again, we'll make him a regular medic because, as I stated before, I like to have my team leaders set up as a medic just in case. Because you never know. Alright. Now, I'm going to show you guys something here. You kind of see how we placed them all down, right? One after the other. We placed this team down, then we placed this team down, then we placed our pilots down, then we placed our squad lead down. Alright. We're going to go into play in multiplayer. Okay, this is going to test everything, just the roles and things like that. Alright. So, play in multiplayer, and alright. So you see here, we have Alpha team, Bravo team, our Zeus as high command, then we got our pilots, which we didn't give call signs to, and our team chief Phoenix. If you want to reorder these, I'll show you how to do that, alright? So let's say you want the team chief and doctor at the top, okay? Or if you want the Zeus at the top and the pilots at the bottom, right? We'll go through and I'll show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is go back. Oh, slow computer. Alright. So, first, what we're going to do, okay, whoever you want at the top, you're going to leave out, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everybody, okay? Because right now, the Zeus, he's in the middle somewhere. He's, right? But we want him as the first player. So what we're going to do is we highlight everyone, okay? We're going to Control-C, copy, and we're going to delete. Now, if you didn't copy it, you can just go over here and hit undo, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you did accidentally delete it without copying it, you can hit undo, all right? So Control-V, delete, paste. Now what that just did is it placed the Zeus first. Now all these guys are behind him, so below him. Now we're going to keep doing that. We want these guys to be directly behind the Zeus now. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight everyone else, Control-V, delete, paste. And we want to make sure Alpha team is next. So we're going to highlight everyone else, Control-V, delete, paste. And again, we want to make sure that the pilots are last. So we're going to do Control-V, delete, paste. Okay. So one more time. The Zeus, if you want the Zeus first, right? Or if you want the Zeus last, you can easily just, let's say you want the Zeus last. You can just go Control V, delete, paste them down, and now the Zeus is at the end of your lobby. And we'll just quickly see that. High Command, Zeus. Phoenix, Element. Team Chief, Doctor. Alpha Squad. Alpha Team, Bravo Team. Okay, you can do that with these guys as well, right? If you want to make one team, if you want to make the medic here, then you would just do the same thing, okay? You would delete these guys, you would copy these guys and everything behind them, delete them, paste them, and this medic will now be number 2, okay? Simple and easy. A little bit confusing, I understand, but just got to remember that it goes by last unit placed. Alright. We want our Zeus first, so we'll quickly fix that. Copy, delete, paste. Alright, so we have that set. You know what I want to do? I want to add in one more team. Let's do a third team, just because. Copy, paste. We'll call this Team Charlie. Ba-ba-da-ba. And again, we want to make sure that pilots are last, so copy, delete, delete, there we go, paste, there we go. We'll give them call signs, so we will call the jet pilot, we'll just go Foxtrot. And helicopter pilots, we'll call them this call sign at space, let's go hotel. Alright, heli pilot at hotel. Make sure there's a space in there. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Okay. Right now, we'll go save as MP missions. I got a lot of missions here. What we want to do is MZG Zeus. Okay, you can name this file whatever you want, but whenever it renames it, you'll see that it'll name the terrain itself after, so it doesn't matter. So we'll go save, overwrite. No, I don't want to overwrite scenario. Get out of here. I wanted the name. Save as. And what we're going to call it, MG underscore, whoops, Zeus mission. Whoops, we need another underscore. Just keep in mind that you need to put an underscore. If you put a space, it will show up as something like that. Okay, you can see there. It'll show up something like that in your mission file. In order to prevent that, just put an underscore. Okay. MG underscore Zeus underscore mission. And we'll hit save. God damn it, why do you want to overwrite? Yeah, okay, let's overwrite it. Perfect. See at the top, MG underscore Zeus underscore mission dot altus. Dot altus is the name of the map, the mod name. Alright. And there you have it. I like to export my maps to a multiplayer. What that does is it will make a PBO of that map. So what we'll do is we'll go to export to multiplayer and export it to Arma 3 MP missions. And I will show you where that is. In here, I have mine saved on a different drive, so if it wants to find, there we go. Arma drive, Steam library, Steam apps, common, Arma 3, MP mission. Whoop, that was expansions. A little carried away there. Where's my MP missions? There's my MP missions. And you'll see here, we've got mgzeusmission.altus.pbo. All it did was just pack the file into a PBO. Otherwise, it would have shown up like this. Okay, with a it would show up in the default version, which would be local disk C, users, your username, documents, profile, MP missions, and it's right here. MG Zeus mission.altus. Click on it. It's right there. We don't need that. Mission.sqm. I don't know why that was even in there. Interesting. This was another mission I made. This is the same exact mission pretty well. This is an SQM, right? This is what it would be if you didn't export it to a PBO, or export it to multiplayer, okay? Alright, and that's pretty well it. Actually, quickly, I'll go you how you change the loadouts of these guys is if you right-click them, you'll go Edit Loadout, and you'll have two options. You'll have the BI Virtual Arsenal, which is the vanilla version, which is what they're wearing right now, or the Ace Arsenal loadout. If you remember earlier where we talked about in attributes and multiplayer, save loadout, right now I have it checked, right? So let's say I wanted to save a loadout on him. Edit loadout. And do I have any custom loadouts made? I do not. But let's say we wanted to make a custom loadout. Let's see here. Let's give him some... Ooh. Let's make him a civilian. Civilian with a beret. I'm going to hit apply, and now when I load up the mission onto the server, this is what will load up on the team chief, our officer. Okay. Demonstrate that by playing multiplayer. We'll take the team chief, click OK, wait 10 years for it to load up. There's our respawn. Hit respawn and we spawned in. And guess what? Ba-ba-da-ba, we have our civilian clothes, school teacher. And this is all our gear and our loadout. And if we turn around, there's our arsenal. Okay, we've got the vanilla arsenal and the ace arsenal on it. Show you that they work. This is the ace arsenal, as you can see. I don't like loading up the vanilla arsenal because it takes 10 years, but it's there. Alright. I'm using TFAR, so it says not connected to TeamSpeak. That mod requires you to connect to TeamSpeak via Task Force plugin. Other than that, that's it. That is all she wrote. So hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Hopefully I wasn't too rambly for you. But yeah, if you got any questions, don't be afraid to let me know. Alright. Well, thanks for watching.